Welcome to Best Academic TV. In this video, we're gonna focus on how to plot graph. So I'm teaching us on how to plot a graph. That is the perfect way and the simplest way to plot a graph. This is our graph sheet. Okay. Now in this video, I'll show us how to choose a scale, a proper scale. Please take note. And also how to choose a proper interval. Okay. Now let's use these values as an example. We have these values. Of course, we have done this practical. Okay. These are the values available for us. And we're asked to plot L versus T square. So when we are asked to plot this for physics practical, when we are asked to plot L versus T square, is the same as L against T square. So when you are asked to plot L versus T square, it means that this first one here will be placed at the vertical part, while this second one here will be placed at the horizontal part. The same thing as this, the same thing as this. So versus and against is the same. Please take note. So I'll place in my graph sheet. I'm trying to explain this first before we plot the graph. Okay. In my graph sheet, it means that the first one mentioned will be at horizontal part. So our L here will be placed here with the unit. The unit is cm in the graph, in the table, sorry. While here I will have t square with the unit, which is what? Second square. Okay. So let's plot this graph here. This is the values given to us here. Okay. Let's plot the graph here. Okay. Now class, this is my L or H, depending on the graph you are using. Okay. You're asked to use these values and these values to plot the graph. So these are the values here. The values of L or H. Okay, let me get the values, the available values. Either HCM, it is T square. Okay. The first value is 120. Of course, this CM affect everything here. Okay. The corresponding T square is 4.88. The next is 100. The corresponding value for T square is 4.08. The next is 80. The corresponding value for this in T square is 3.24. The next is 60. The corresponding value to this is 2.43. The next value is 40. The corresponding value to this is 1.63. So class, using these values to plot our graph, first I will take my graph sheet. This is my graph sheet. In this practical, I'm using pen to make it to be clear. Okay. But in your main practical, you use pencil. Okay. Now you come to this place here. Any point other than this edge, please take note. Any point other than this edge. Okay, any point. You can start any point other than this edge here. I can place this. And again, you can start any point other than this edge here. You can stop here or here, any point. Okay. So I will take my line to make it to be neat. Make sure your graph is neat. Very important. You don't need to count the number now. No, just do the line, okay? Don't be afraid, okay? And I will take this one to this extent here. Okay. So this is my t square second square. This is my LCM, okay? Now the next to do here, class, the next to do here, please just listen to me carefully. The next to do here is to find interval value. There's what we call interval value. Interval values are those values we place on this line here, these bigger lines here, these lines here. They are called interval values, and they will have the same order of sequence. They will have the same order of sequence. You can't just come here and say 5, 10, 15. No, please take note. And the same thing here. So how do we choose a perfect interval value? To choose a perfect interval value, you have to move to the table of, since I want to choose for L here or H, I have to move to the interval of H, this interval of H, okay? This interval of H. This is the values of H, sorry. I will focus on the lowest number of H. This is the lowest number of H or L. Please take note. Now, remember this particular graph is not starting from origin. If a graph is starting from origin, it should be stated there. But if it's not stated in that particular manner, it means that, or in that particular practical, it means that that graph is not starting from origin, okay? So this graph is not starting from origin, but it must start from the lowest point of this value here, from the lowest point, okay? So we choose the lowest value. The lowest value at this HCM is 40. So we reduce this 40. You can reduce it in any value, any comfortable value. Reduce this here. When you reduce this one, it can be 10, it can be 20, you get, okay? And let's take 20. That means I will be starting here with 20. We put comma here, 20. So I'm putting it at this point here, class. Listen to me carefully, because this is like this point here is the Y point. So any other woman starting here should be along S axis. So I will say comma 20. Please take note. So I'm starting this with 20. Okay, so the lowest in this graph is 20. So to get our interval value, this is the formula to get interval value. The formula to get interval value is this. Interval value is equal to highest value minus lowest value. Lowest value is the starting value. Please take note. Over number of lines. Since I'm using number of lines, okay, okay. Now, what is the highest value along this axis? Maybe I want to find the interval value here. I want to put in these values here in this vertical axis, okay? What is the highest value along this axis? The highest value is 120 minus. Now, what is the lowest value? Okay, let's replace the value here. The highest value here is 120. Now, the lowest value here, remember, the lowest value is not the starting value. Remember, we are taking the lowest value as the starting value, okay? The lowest value here is not 40, because there's a point I started this graph from, and that point is 20. So replace 20 over number of lines. Number of lines here is, I'll count the lines here. The lines is the big ones here. That is 1, 2. I'll start this from the origin, okay? I'll start this after the origin, sorry. I'll start counting the lines after the origin. This will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Please don't count this one here. So it will be over 21. So when it subtract 120 minus 20, it give us 100 over 21. Okay, this will give us 4.7619. Okay, this is our value. I approximated this to 4 decimal places for accuracy. That is the reason for your 4-figure table. Okay, now for accuracy, we use 4 decimal places. Okay, but in terms of the graph, you will approximate to 2 decimal places. Okay, now let's get the next point here. To get the next point from here, to be 20 plus this guy here. Okay, so 20 plus this guy will give us 24.7619. So I will take an approximated value here. So it will be 24.8. 24.8. Okay, now the next is to find the next value here. I'll find the next value here. So to find the next value, I'll plus this interval value to this guy here to get the next value. So class, you don't use this approximated value here. You use the full value, okay, to avoid errors. Now let's do that. So this will be 24.7619 plus the interval value, which is 4.7619. Plus I will have this to be I will have this to be 5238. So approximate this here. This 1 2 3 4. Okay, approximate this to 1 decimal place. When you want to put in the value of the line here, this will be 29.5. Okay, now let's get the next value here. Plus up this one with the interval value. That is 29.5238 plus the interval value, which is 4.7619. I will have this value to be 34.2857. So approximate to be 34.3. 34.3. Okay, now the next, this one here plus the interval value, I will have this to be 34.2857 plus 4.7619. I have this to be 39.0476. So when you approximate this will be 39.0. Okay, now the next is this one here, 39.0476 plus the interval value. So I will have this to be 39.0476 plus 4.7619. I will have this to be 43.8095. So I will take the approximated value here, which is 43.8, to write here. That is 43.8. So to get the next one here will be this plus this, that is 43.8 0.8095 plus 4.7619. My value here is 48.5714. So take the approximated value here. This will be 48.6. The next one here, this one plus the interval value, I'll have this to be 48.5714 plus 4.7619. I'll have this to be 53.333123. Okay, so when you approximate, you have 53.3, 53.3. Okay, the next one here is this one plus this 53.333123 plus 4.7619. I'll have this to be 58.1. So here the value is 58.0952. Please take note. Okay, so let's get the next value here. This plus this, that is 58.0952 plus 4.7619. I have this to be 62.8571. So the approximated value will be 62.9. So the next one is this plus this 62.8571 plus 4.7619. So the answer to this is 67.619. Okay, so approximated will be 67.6, 67.6. Okay, now let's have the next one here. You have to put your line here to make it to be neat. Okay, your line here, this one here, please take note. Please, you have to use pens in your own. You put your line here to make it to be okay. Please take note of this. Okay, now 67, that is this one plus this 67.619 plus 4.7619. The answer to this is 72.3809. So take the approximated value, that is 72.4. So the next one here, this plus this 72.3809 plus the interval value 4.7619. Okay, I have the value here to be 77.1428. So I'll have this to be 77.1, 77.1. Okay, so the next value here, this plus this 77.1428 plus 4.7619. Okay, the answer here is 81.9047. So the approximated value is 81.9. 81.9. Please take note. So let's get the next value here. Now this plus the interval value here, I will have something like this. 81.9047 plus 4.7619. So this is going to be 86.666. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So approximately this will be 86.7. 86.7. Okay. Let's get the next one here. This plus the interval value, that is 86.6666 plus 4.7619. We have 91.4285. So approximate this 91.4. Okay. So the next one here is this plus this, that is 91.4285 plus 4.7619. We have 96.1904. Please take note. So this will be 96.2. So let's get the next one here. That is this plus this plus 4.7619. The answer is 100.9523. So when you approximate, this is 101. Okay, when you approximate, okay, that's 101. 101. Okay. Now the next thing, this guy here plus this plus 4.7619. The answer is 105.7142. Okay, approximate that 105.7. Okay, please make yours to be neat. Okay, now the next one is this one plus the interval value plus 4.7619. So we have the answer to be 110.4761. Okay, now approximate that, that is 110.5. Now the next one here is this plus this plus 4.7619. We have this to be 115.238. So approximate that, this will be 115.2. So the last one here plus 4.7619. 4.7619. The answer is 119.999. When you approximate that, the answer will be 120.0. Plus, if you calculate this properly, you must get this highest value here. Please take note. You must get this highest value here. So we have gotten the highest value, which is what, 120. Okay. Now we also do the same thing here. Remember the first step to find the interval values. The interval values are these big lines here. This line here. This line here. These are interval values. There are values here. Please take note. This one here. These are called interval values. Okay. Now, why most persons can't plot graph, because they don't know this one here, this one. All they want to this 1, 2, they want to place 1, 2. No, all values must not be in 1, 2, 3, 4, and all. You get. Now they want to place 5, 10, 15, and all. You might get this part because it's a kind of friendly, but you might not get a value that is difficult. Okay, so this is the method to plot your graph perfectly and get a good slope. Okay, now let's assign the values here. So the first procedure is to find the lowest value from that axis. Now in this axis here, which is t square axis, our lowest value here is 1.63. So class, 1.63, when you want to choose the lowest value from 1.63, you can reduce it down to to a significant number. You can reduce this 1.63 to a significant number, and that number can be 1. I hope you get that. So from here, we reduce that. We are starting with 1. I'll put 1 here. That is 1. So this is the lowest number. So how do we get the interval values? The formula for interval value is this: highest value minus lowest value, which is the same thing as starting value from the graph, over number of lines. So let's do that in t square axis. Interval value, this for t square axis. That is highest value minus lowest value, which is starting number, over number of lines. Please take note. So the highest value under this t square is 4.88. I have 4.88 minus lowest value is not this value here. Lowest value is not this value here. Lowest value is not this value here. Lowest value is the value you place as the starting value in the graph, which is this value here. This value here. Okay, and this value is 1. So we have this to be 1 over, you count the number of lines. Please take note, the number of lines in LCM is not going to be the number of lines in t square. So you have to count the line for you to know the number of lines. So let's count the line. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So this one is 16. Please take note of this. The number of lines here is not must that it must be the same. It's not going to be must that they are going to be the same with this one here. Okay, please take note. Okay, so this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I'll have this as 16 over 16. Okay, now let's calculate to get the interval value. That is 4.88 minus 1 divide 4.88 minus 1 give us 3.88. Divide by 16. Divide the result by 16, we have 0.2425. So class, our interval value is 0.2425. So for me to get the value here, our interval value here is 0.2425. That is for t square. Okay, please don't forget. So for us to get the next value here, this will be this one plus, for us to get this value here, to be this one plus 0.2425. So I will have this to be 1.2425. Please take note. So approximate, this will be 1.2. So the next here is this one plus this here, the same thing we have been doing. Okay, so this is going to be class 1.2425 plus 0.2425. I have the result here to be 1.485. Please take note. So when you approximate here, we have 1.5. Okay, the next, this one plus this interval value. So I will have this to be plus 0.2425. My answer here is 1.7275. So approximate, this will be 1.7. Please take note. Now this full value here plus the interval value. So class plus 0.2425. This is 1.97. Approximate, I will have this to be 2. This will be 2.0. Please take note. So the next one here is this full value here with plus it up with interval value. That is 0.2425. I will have 2.2125. So approximately this is 2.2, okay, plus 0.2425. Please take note. I'll have this to be 2.455. So approximate, I will have this to be 2.5. So this one plus the interval value 0.2425. I will have this to be 2.6975. So this is 2.7. Now this full one here plus the interval value, that is 0.2425. I will have this to be 2.9. But this one gave us 2.94. That's the full value here. Okay, so this one plus 0.2425, I will have this to be 3.1825. So approximate 3.2. 3.2. So let's get the next value here. This one here plus the interval value 0.2425. I will have this to be 3.425. So approximate, this will be 3.4. So the next one here is this one plus this 0.2425. The answer is 3.6675. Okay, now we have this to be 3.7. Now the next one is 0.2425. The answer is 3.9091. Sorry. So I'll have this to be 3.9. I'll have this to be 3.9. I will have this to be 3.9. Okay. Now the next one, 3.91 plus 0.2425. I will have this to be 4.1525. Okay. So approximate, I will have this value to be 4.2. So this is the reason why most tutors don't teach plotting of graph because of the stress and every other thing you get. But I'm teaching this because I want you guys to do it, okay? Plus, sorry, plus 0.2425. So I have this to be 4.395. Approximate is 4.4. This is 4.4. So the next one here is the same pattern, okay? Plus 0.24 plus 0.2425. The answer here is 4.6375. So approximate 4.6. 4.6. Okay, the last one here, plus 0.2425. I have 4.88. 4.88. Okay, so this is 4.88. Okay, when you are doing this right, you must get an exact value here, the same thing here, okay, or an approximated value. So the next is to know each of the block. Now these are the block here. If you can't know each of the block, that means you don't know what this number is representing, and you don't know what this one is representing. The same thing as this here. So now let's know each of the block. How do we calculate each of this small block here? Boss, we call it boss though. How do we calculate each of the boss here? It's very simple. To calculate each of the boss here, this is what you have to do, class. To calculate each of the boss in this graph here, this is what you have to do. For bosses, one boss, if I can know one boss, that means I will know all the bosses, okay? One boss, the formula is this: the second number minus the first number over number of bosses. I'm going to find the value of each of the boss here along this square axis. We are going to know the value of each of the boss along L axis. So let's know for L first. For each of the boss on LCM, that is one boss equal to class. Let's identify the second number here. Remember, these ones here are the starting number. They are acting like origin. They are not the first number. Please take note. So this is where we started counting. Remember, when we started counting the line, we started from 1, 2, and all, okay? So that means this is the first number, this is the second number. So the second number is 29.5 minus first number is 24.8. So what are the number of bosses? Count from here to this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this will be over what? 5. So let's know this. 29.5 minus 24.8. So 29.5 minus 24.8 is 4.2. 0.7 divide by 5. So when you do that, divide by 5, when you do that, I will have 0.94. So class, each of the bars along LCM, each of the bars is 0.94. Let's confirm if that is true. Okay, how do we confirm here? I will count this bus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at this point to know if it will give me this particular value. So 5, these 5 buses times each, that means each of this is, one of these is 0.94, 0.195 for 0. So for us to get the value is very simple. Multiply 5 by 0.94. Okay, so that is 0.94 times 5. 0.94 times 5 gave us 4.7. Remember, we are starting this stuff, you are starting this from a particular point, which is 20. So 20 plus this 4.7, we have 24.7, which approximately is the same thing as 24.8. The same thing here, if I want to get this point here, I will count this. This is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So 45 times 0.94. Let's see. So 45 times 0.994. We have 42.3 plus this origin here, which is 20, plus 20. We have 62.3. That's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. That's this here. Okay, that's 62.3. Okay, 62.3. Okay, which is approximately to this one here. So why most of our decimal point is changing? Because of the approximation. Okay, but you see in line with what we are doing here. Okay, now let's find each of the bars along, t square axis. Okay, let's find each of the bars along t square axis. Some persons are asking why the 45. The 45 is, this is 5, 5, 5, 5. So for me to be counting 5, 10, 11, so I'll just say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and or you get. Okay, now let's find each of the bars along t square axis. So each of the bars along t square axis, one bus of it, remember the formula remains the same, that is the second number minus the first number over number of buses. So let's take the first number here and the second number. Remember, this one here is the starting number, so I don't have to take the starting number. We'll start from here. Okay, the first number is 1.2, the second number is 1.5. That's 1.5 minus 1.2 divide by, count these buses to this point, it will be 5. So class, punch your calculator. 1.5 minus 1.2, the result is 0.3 over 5. So class, 0.3 divide by 5, this is 0.06. So each of these bars here is 0.06. So let's confirm. Okay class, let's confirm. Each of these bars here is 0.06. Let's confirm. So class, each of these bars here is 0.06. Let's confirm if that is true. Okay, so from here, this is 5, 0.06 times 5. Let's multiply this. 0.06 multiplied by 5. I have 0.06 multiplied by 5. The answer is 0.3. 0.3 plus this here will give us 1.2, or approximately 1.2. Okay, so the same thing here, if I want to get this one too, so this is 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, this is 20. So 0.06 0.06 times 20. I have 1.2 plus this to be 2.2, which is the same as approximately 2, which is this point here, okay? So class, this 5, 10, 15, 20, okay? So approximately, we have this. So class, this particular values are correct, okay? So the next is to plot this graph with the available values. So 120 go with 4.88. This is 120 here. 120 go with 4.88. That is, you trace this. Please, there's no need for you to put line, okay? You only trace them. This 4.88, you trace it. So the next here, when you locate the point where 120 meet 4.88, we put an asterisk like this. Please, you don't need to trace them with your lines, okay? Now the next is 100 trace with this 100 here, trace with 4.08. So let's trace this. Do we have 100 here? Yes, we can get 100 here, because how do we get 100 from here? You know that each of the bus on LCM is each of the bus is 0.94. So let's get this. This is 9.96.2. 96.2 plus this each of the bus here plus 96.2. Let's get any point that is 100 here, okay? Why are we choosing 96.2? We are choosing 96.2 because this is the only value close to 100. Please take notes. So this is 96.2 plus 0.94. It gave us 97.14. So it's not 100. We'll go again to the next bus plus 0.94. It's not giving us 100, which is 98. We'll go again to the third bus. Please take note. Plus 0.94. It's not giving us the 100. We'll go again to the next bus, which is the fourth bus, okay? Plus 0.94. Okay, it gave us 99.96, which is approximately 100. So this one here, which is how many bus? 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth bus, which is this one here, gave us 100 approximately. Connect with 4.08. So 4.08, 4.08, 4.08. 4.08 will be here, within here. Okay, this is 4.2. 4.08 will be within here. So let's know, let's locate the 4.08 from 3.9. So remember, each of the bus here along this t square axis is 0.06. So 3.9. Okay, let me just put this. This is the fourth one here. Okay, 3.9 plus 0.06 gave us 3.96. That is the first bus plus 0.06 gave us 4.02, which is not the same with this. The next one, plus 0.06, which is 0.08. So the third bus gave us 4.06 from 9.9, 3.9. So the third bus, that is 1, 2, 3, this one here. So this third bus connects with this third bus here. Connects, okay, sorry. The third bus here connect with this one here. connect with this one here. Please take note. Okay. Now let's connect with this one here. Okay. Now let's connect the next one. 80 connect with 3.24. So we don't have any 3.24 exact value of 3.24 here. So we can also get it since we know each of the bosses here. Now 80, let's see if we have a significant value of 80 here. So we don't have 80, but we have 77.1. So this is the only value close to 80. But since we know each of the bosses here, we can just connect this. That is 80. How do we get 80 from here? 77.1 plus each of the boss here. Remember, each of the boss here is 0.94, okay? Plus 0.94. It gave us 78.04 plus again 0.94. Gave us the second boss gave us 78.98 plus 0.94. It gave us 79 point, that is the third boss, 79.92 plus 0.94 gave us 80.86. So we can take the third boss, that is 1, 2, 3, the third boss, that is 79.92. When you approximate that, you have 80. So the third boss of this, that is 1, 2, 3. Now trace that to that is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that is this point here. Trace that to 3.24. So 3.24. Now let's get 3.24 from this 3.2. So remember, each of the boss here is 0.06. So 3.2 plus 0.06 is 3.26. Okay, now we can take the one boss. Now 0.06 plus this 3.2 will give us 3.26. So we can take only this boss here, connect it with this one here. This, okay, okay. Now the next one is 60 connect with 2.43. So let's see if you have a simple value of 2.43. There's nothing like 2.43 here. So we can also find it using each of the bosses here. So let's say 60. If there's any 60, there's no 60 here, but this value is, this 58.1 is close to 60. So let's see if we can get 60 from here. 58.1 plus one boss here, and one boss here is 0.94. 58.1 point 1 plus 0.94. Okay, we have 59.04. So let's plus again, plus 0.94. We have 59.98 plus 0.94. Okay, now the second boss gave us the approximate value of 60, that is 59.98, which is 60. So the second boss, that is 1, 2, connect with 2.43. So let's get 2.43 here. So from 2.2 we can get 2.43. So each of the boss here is 0.06. So class, 2.2 plus 0.06 okay, plus he gave us 0.26, which is greater than this 0.43, okay. So we can take one bus of this 2.2, connect with this bus here, um this bus here, okay. That is the second one here. So this connect with the second one, is the second one that gave us 59 points, okay. So lastly here, 40. So how do we get 40 here? The closer value here, that is 39. 39, 39, 39 plus 0. Remember, it's 39 that is close to um 40. So from this 39, we can get a value close to 40, okay? Since we know the value of each of the bus here. So each of the bus is 0.94 along this axis. So we have 39.94. So let's see if there's anyone that will give us perfect value. 0.94. So class, the only one that gave us close to 40 is one bus of that is 39.94. So this will be this one bus. So they connect with 1.63. 1.63 can be gotten from 1.5. That is let's get 1.63 here. So 1.5 plus 0.06, 1.5 plus 0.06 gave us 1.56 plus 0.06 is 1.62, okay, plus 0.06. So the bus that gave us one close to 1.63 is two buses. So the two buses here, that is 1, 2, connect with the one bus of this 39 after 39, okay, that is this one here. So this is what you do here. So these are the lines here. The question now is, which of the line, how do I take my line of best fit? Now for you to take your line of best fit, for you to take the line of best fit, you must take the major dot, okay. Now if I, please take note of this, the line must not pass, it must not, so it's not always that it will pass from the origin, okay. You can place it depending on where the major axis is moving to, okay. Now let's take this major axis. Wow, this graph is perfect, okay. This point, this point, and this point, okay. So I can connect this and this here. When you do that, please make sure you extend your line to this point, to the ending point. So you can, okay, this is what you will do here. So it's only this one that is out. You can just circle it. Okay, this is the only one that is out. Okay, now the next is um how to position your slope. The next is how to position your slope. So some students, whenever they want to calculate or they want to position their slope, they will always come to this point here, this point that is a kind of close to the bigger line, to the bigger line of this. No, you can't start anywhere, just start anywhere. Since you know each of the bus here, you can start anywhere. So anything that is here has a value. The bus has a value, the line has a value, so anywhere you stop, it can be calculated, get. So we can just make this, and just take 1/3 of our graph sheet here to calculate the slope. You can start anywhere, okay. Don't say, don't start here because this is a point. No, you don't do that. You can start anywhere. So let me make this graph to be neat. Yeah, let me start from here. Let me make it to be neat. Starting here. to this point here. So the next you connect to this. So always make your slope to be large like this, okay? Now the next is, how do we calculate slope? So this graph is very okay. How do we calculate slope from this graph here? Okay. Now please, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, all you have to do to get shortcut on how to plot your graph is to hit the subscriber button. Okay. If you look into this plotting of graph, it's kind of stressful yet. So we have short way to calculate this. All you have to do, just identify your interval values, and I'll show you one thing to do. Okay. Hit the subscriber button. Okay. Now the next is, in case you have any practical and you have the values, just send it to me, or you can tell me the next practical I'm going to plot the graph. Okay. So calculate the slope. First of all, we have to know that this part here is L as this, why this part here is T square as this, of course. Now this part and this part is the same. This part and this part is the same. Please take note. So this part is going to be changed from here to here, will be changed in T square. This one will be changed in LCM, this second square. Please, you don't calculate your slope on the graph sheet. You calculate the slope on the worksheet. There'll be a space provided on the worksheet in your manual. Okay, you don't calculate your slope on the graph sheet, but I'm just calculating this to show you guys. Okay, but don't do that in advanced level. So if I want to calculate my slope here, so if I want to calculate my slope will be equal to, please don't say change in y over change in s. So you only take the value representing the y axis. So this will change in which is in cm, over change in t square, which is in second square. Okay. Now the word change simply means the highest minus the lowest. So this will be L2 minus L1 over t square 2 minus t square 1. Class, let's identify L2 from this slope here. L2, let's take the L axis, which is this axis here. The second part is the L axis, okay? Let's point the axis, the ending axis. That is this point here. You trace it to the end. So this is this point here. Okay, it's this point here. So remember, we have 1105. Since it's this point here. Okay, Abby. Okay, let's trace it properly. Is this point, okay? This 1105. 110.5, sorry. This bus, how many bus? 1, 2, 3. So this is 3. So remember, each of the bus here along this axis is 0.95. So 0.95, let's take no 0. Plus, okay, plus 0.94 plus 0.94 plus 0.94 gave us 2.82. That is each of the line here, each of the bus here, sorry, 1, 2, 3, gave us 2.84. That is, when you count 0.94 plus 0.94 plus 0.94 gave us 2.82, plus this large value, which is 110.5 plus 110.5. I will have the value to be this point here, this L here, to be 113.32 minus, let's get L1. L1 is the lowest part of L here. L as you say, that's give us 29.5. 29.5 over, now let's take t square of 2. T square of 2 gave us, this is the point here, 4.6. That is 4.6 minus t square of 1. This edge, not this part here, please. This edge is this. Now remember, each of the line here is 0.06. 0.06. Okay, so this is 0.06. How many line here? um 1 2 3, that is 3. 0.06 plus 0.06. Okay, that is 3 plus 0.06. It gave us 0.18. So this part here is 0.18, but remember, 1 plus that will give us 1 plus 1 plus 0.18, give us 1.18. So here will give us 1.18. Okay, so class, let's calculate. I'll have this to be 113.32 minus 29.5. This, the top here, the numerator part is 83.82, divide by 4 4.6 minus 1.18. I'll have this to be 3.42. So 83.82 divide by 3.42. I have this to be 24.508. Now let's get our units. Our unit is cm per second square. Cm per second square. So this is our slope here. Class, in our next video, approximately you can have your slope to be 25 cm per second square, which is a perfect value. Okay, so in our next video, we'll solve most of the solutions in this graph. All you have to do is to hit the subscribe button. Okay, thank you.